Okay, hello everybody. My name is Walt. I'm from the Charlotte area of North Carolina. This review is for a 2003 BX2200, one of the first generations, if not the first generation, of the Kubota subcompact series. You know, folks do reviews on new tractors they buy and ones that have just come out, but I was out there mowing today and got thinking about it, and I thought, you know, it's time for somebody to post a real life, real user, real homeowner user review of one that's been around a few years. And so that's what we're doing. When I bought this tractor, it had a 60-inch belly mower that came with it, and so I've kept that all these years. And then I've also added the front end loader to it, and I've also got, you know, some rear end accessories for it, a big 5-foot scraper with counterweights and a plow for my garden. As you can see, when I bought the tractor, I bought it 8/16, August 16th of 2003, down in South Carolina. A gentleman named Wendell, real good fellow. I've known him a long time, and I paid $9,800 for that tractor. $9,800, and that came with a belly mower. One other thing I just want to point out while we're in this book is when you buy one of these, the reason I've got such good use out of it is I've done meticulous maintenance. I've followed their guidelines, service intervals in here right through the list over the years. I've made my notes in here, you know, everything I've done to it, and I'm well past the, you know, I'm up in, you know, the past 300 interval. But, you know, do your maintenance, make any relevant notes. I've used this tractor for commercial construction, you know, hauling gravel and moving stuff, and digging and fine grading and everything. And I discovered one time I needed a new tranny filter. A guy knocked a hole in the one I had, and the Fram PH5046 will fit this transmission. And of course I changed it back out, but that filter will fit it. So, you know, basic review of the tractor. I've had it quite a number of years, and you know, let's go out and have a look at it. Okay, as I've said, this review is for a 2003 Kubota BX2200. There she is. I just finished mowing with it, and you know, cleaned it off and hosed her up a little bit. Just want to kind of go through the tractor from a real world perspective. This tractor is well used. I've used it for my personal use. I've used it in commercial work, and you can see the lights still work on it. They're broke all to heck. I've added a reverse light. I need to go to Tractor Supply and repair the rear lights where I've run into stuff with it. Appearance wise, it still looks pretty good. You know, the hood still shines. If you can see that hood, it's got a few little dings on it. But for 2003 now, I keep it in my shed. It looks really good. It's got the original turf tires on the rear. You know, those are original. 2003. This is July of 2014, the time of this video. Obviously, I keep a well-stocked assortment of these chain tighteners here. You know, when you're pulling stuff, I've literally pulled the welds off. These welds here do break. I keep 4 or 5 of these on reserve all the time. You know, you're going to break them, and you say, well, they're junk. Well, what I say, you know, there's reviewers out there talking about these Kubotas against other tractors. My feeling is, with a 22 horse 3-cylinder diesel on this size of the tractor, it works far bigger than what the tractor actually is. So you can say, well, it's got issues. Well, now the issues is it's just strong as a horse. This tractor works incredibly big for what it is. So, you know, I've had to replace these over the years and keep up with these. But other than that, you know, everything, you know, that's all original. I have added ag tires over the years. I think it gets a nice stance to it. You know, gives it a fatter stance. And these are larger. These are an 18 by 9.5-8. 18 by 9.5. It's a little wider. This tire will go on there. see, unless you're cutting it right there, it's not going to rub. I've never had a rub issue with it. You know, as far as when I'm driving it or anything, it's never bothered me. And all you're driving, it does just fine. You know. Again, the right side to the 9.5, you have plenty of clearance. Left side, it might kiss it just once in a while, but it's never bothered. Everything on this tractor is original. This mower deck, I've replaced this belt one time since 2003. I just changed a couple years ago. It's about $130, whatever it is. So one belt. I've had to change the metal line here and there, you know, my hydraulics. Let's pop the hood and look at the engine. There it is, your three-cylinder Kubota. You know, I've got a new line here from that wears out. You know, I change the filter every year, air filter. But everything you're looking at, folks, is original on this tractor. Original muffler. You know, everything's original. You know, 2003. It runs like a champ. The welds on this came loose. I've had to doctor them up over the years. You know, but as far as the drivetrain and everything that counts on these tractors, this tractor is 100% original. And when I bought it, Wendell told me you can expect 5,000 hours off a diesel engine. The average homeowner will put 100 hours a year. Well, if you look real close there, you can see I've got 1,063 hours. And I've had it since 03, and I've used this tractor for commercial properties mowing. It's pretty much like a push hog. You know, I finish mow and do kind of bush hog work with it. So I've used it in some seriously heavy duty situations. I've used it in commercial job sites. I feel like I've used this tractor more than the average person. So 1,063 since 2003. And you can hear it. Original throttle cable. There, how smooth it idles down. Another thing is, if you look at the temperature, they do seem to run. And that's where it just sits right there. Once she warms up, there's where she's at. Go on the hot side, but that's just the nature of a Kubota. I'm going to get up here and fire up the mowing deck. Let you hear that. Always engage it with the throttle at the lowest position, then run it up. When you're driving it, if you're mowing slow, if it gives you any resistance, just gently do it. Sometimes you can jog your pedal if it doesn't go in, but it went right into gear. But it's not going into gear. Just jog your pedal there, and it'll go slip right in. But if you're riding slow, run it in low gear, or they call it turtle gear. And that way you're taking pressure off your transmission. Just things like that I've kept up with. If you see there's not going, you jog it. And then it'll slip right in. There you go. Grab it for going fast, but if you're riding slow, you have to get on the wife there for a while. She would mow with it slow in this and get her to understand that it's better for the transmission. If you're riding slow, just let it run in a gear that takes a lot of stress off the transmission. Paying attention to stuff like this, paying attention to gearing it up with your deck with the throttle down and powering up, run it wide open, as the manual says, run it wide open at all times whenever you're running anything. These are things that are going to get your life out of it. Of course, changing your oil, servicing it regularly, staying on top of everything. As far as minor nuisances with the tractor, obviously the lights were an issue. They've improved those over the years. I've taken the lights, that grill cover off because it's just no good. I've even, see here, added my own lights that I have from time to time on the tractor. They've had an issue with the seat belt being too low. When you get on, it's hard to get. Pulling that up, I agree with that. They've improved that on some newer models, you know, but this is a new seat. Kubota seat on the original ones, you know, wore out. You know, that's just what I consider normal stuff on a tractor. One of the other things that happened is on the, I don't know if we can see it, but, down here on the drivetrain for your four-wheel drive, this is your bar, basically goes from here to the back of the tractor, and it comes off the PTO back there in the back behind the, right here behind your, over your transmission filter. Basically, four-wheel drive runs off a PTO off of your transmission. This whole assembly came loose up here where it bolts on. You can see where I've added my own bolts. That's it, folks. I mean, this has been an awesome tractor. Normal, small things, hydraulic lines, yeah, that's the original hydraulic line. All this, you know, everything's original in this tractor. You know, I have replaced a couple metal lines here and there. You know, your fuel filters, all that kind of stuff. But as far as major engine trouble, drivetrain problems, anything like that, I've had zero issues with this tractor. It's been a strong little tractor. These tractors work much larger than what they are. I'd call it my little lawn tractor on steroids. It will pick up as much gravel as it can carry. You have to put the counterbalance on it because it'll flip itself over. You can pick up so much gravel with it. You know, I can't say enough about how, you know, the tractor's paid for itself over the years 10 times over. You can see the kind of cut it does on the yard. You know, we're out in the rural countryside here, and I don't try to stripe it, but it gives a nice effect the way the deck is. That's just one pass. It's got enough power, I blow everything to the inside when I'm mowing with it. Again, you can look, see, it does a pretty good cut, and see the effects. And also, if you look around here, you can get a good look at the yard here. You know, it's just got a nice effect to the property out here, or my garden there. So, you know, for a tractor that's out here, you know, I cut close to 4 acres with it. It'll burn about half a tank of diesel, you know. And before I wrap this up, one other thing too about these tractors, you know, again, minor irritations. The center of gravity's kind of high on it, but I've never flipped it. I always wear my seat belt when you're riding it. I've disengaged some of the safety features because I know the tractor like the back of my hand. I don't recommend ever doing that, but you know, so when you get off, it'll still run and stuff if it's in gear. That's why you see it in gear and it's still running. I don't recommend that. Again, I do not recommend doing that. But you know, it rides a little top heavy, but again, I've never flipped it. But you know, for what it is, it's an incredibly strong tractor. So anybody dogging these tractors, in my opinion, they're losing sight of it. It's just got so much power. And you know, my neighbor up there has got a 35 horsepower John Deere and two-wheel drive, and this little tractor runs circles around it. And he knows it, and I know it. So, all right, let's take a little drive, and then we'll wrap this thing up, and I'm going to tell you a little story. I've got I used to use it in my business, and I was taking it to a job site up in Wilkesboro, and when we went to pull it off my 16-foot trailer, the crowd gathered and everybody started laughing. It's like, good Lord, look at that little tiny toy tractor. Pretty much everybody laughed at me bringing it to a commercial job site. And by the end of the week, people were waiting in line to use this tractor. Yeah, I had my front end loader on it. There's my 5-foot scraper I use. that much weight on it. There. I had that puppy on there with my front end loader. This tractor's a little beast for its size. By the end of the week, nobody was laughing anymore. This tractor finds its way into all kinds of situations. See how smooth it is? It's just a good running, still a good strong little tractor. You see that it's still smooth. Hydrostatic tranny works just fine. Forward and reverse. Still got good power steering. Everything works great on this tractor. I highly recommend the Kubota tractor. I can't say enough about it. So, just wanted to, there's my front end loader. I'll plug it in here. I can't say enough about this tractor. I highly recommend it. And just wanted to post a review of a original BX2200. There's my LA211 front end loader. And just kind of say, hey folks, here's a real world tractor that's been in good solid use. And you're looking at a satisfied Kubota owner. And I don't think you can find a better value for the dollar. Y'all take care and appreciate you watching.